What's up, everyone? Welcome once again. We're back on air again, second night in a row, but this time we are bringing you a preview show for Wrestling Evolution Boiling Point coming up this Saturday. Now, I'm your host of Saint. With me normally is where's my co-host? He's here somewhere.
So
Producer.
you're telling me that when you touch this, you pick it up, you become Thor? Lamgar the Lambarian. Huh. Neat. Oh, hey, Ron, what's up?
What are you doing?
Oh, Lorenzo made a hammer at Vikings Con this weekend. He's been babbling about being a llama barbarian. My bad.
Okay, gotcha. Anyway, so tonight we're talking about Boiling Point. Wrestling Evolution. They've got a huge show coming up this Saturday.
Yeah,
slated to be their biggest show of the year. 8 matches for the card. The card is huge. Look at some of the talent on this thing. You're seeing Christopher Prince. You see, Christopher Prince is everywhere, man. He is a road warrior these days. You got Peterbilt on there.
Is that Lucky Ali?
It is the wonderful Woo, dude. It's got some stank on it, man. That's for sure. That's going to be intense. Now, Cliff is in the house. He said, "What's up, Ron, David, and Lorenzo?" And he will be there Saturday running the camera. There you go, man. Well, good on you. Good luck on that. But joining us in the studio to go over everything, we have the owner of Wrestling Evolution, Mr. Tim Wilcox. Hey, sir, how are you?
Hey, how's it going,
sir? I know that guy. I follow him on social media.
That's the good thing to do then.
Right.
Yeah.
So, Wrestling Evolution, this has been your first year, right?
Yes, it is.
Okay. Now, I'd seen you I had seen you a couple months before you had even ran a show, I believe, out in the crowd, and you were meeting and interacting with a bunch of different companies, promoters, and everything else. Was trying to see what worked, what didn't work? You were trying to see who you liked and who you wanted to work with?
Well, I go to several shows and I scout talent. I have a certain pedigree I look for when I try to bring people in. And then I also go to shows and see how the operations are ran. What do I like? What can I think that I could possibly do better? Or from shows now, okay, maybe I can improve upon this, and maybe this group does this, and maybe snatch an idea or two and try to improve on how we run things.
Gotcha. Very cool. Like I said, I think I met you down in Union for the first time, actually.
Believe so.
Yeah, I met you down in Union, and I've seen you in North Carolina at a couple shows. I've seen you pretty much everywhere. So if I've been there and you've been there, it's like, man, this guy gets around the roads as much as I do.
Well, I try anytime I've got an opportunity to hit a show, I go. And but sometimes I'm so busy I don't have time to do it. So then I have to rely upon people sending me videos and resumes, etc.
Right. Now,
Yeah,
and that
I remember
that
actually,
I can
Ron
understand
actually.
as well.
Yeah, because Ron actually recommended me to reach out to you. We actually touched base a little bit. So that's all about the networking, getting to know who you know and reaching out, branching out. I think you're doing it the right way.
I certainly hope so. I mean, I know, like I've said, that when I go to these other shows, I know there's things that I can do better and I can improve upon, and it's always a learning process. But and that's the thing with wrestling in general. You never, the point that you think that you know it all, you don't know it all, and so I'm always willing to learn and try to figure out and find new ways, new avenues, better ways of doing things.
Well, that's a very good way to do it. In my opinion, if you're always trying to look for the next improvement, that means that you're happy with where you are, but you still want to keep growing.
Correct.
That's a hell of a way to look at it.
So I respect it. You're always looking to learn. I mean, you never stop learning in this business. And once you think you do, you probably shouldn't stick around.
That's correct. What they say, if you're in the room, if you're the smartest guy in the room, you're in the wrong room. I believe that's how the saying goes.
Yep,
that's one
true,
of them.
True.
The other one is the big fish in the small pond. You need to get out of the pond.
Yep.
Now, I know you've got Christopher Prince as the heavyweight champion.
Correct.
What other titles are there in Wrestling Evolution?
The other title, Tommy Okami, is our Wrestling Evolution Legacy champion. And then coming soon in January, we are going to be doing a small tag team tournament.
Oh,
and
very
cool. Those belts are in process of being made right now.
Ah, very cool. So your tag team tournament coming up in January, are you ready to announce any team participants, or are you holding off on that?
Actually, I know, is it, forgive me if I've got them wrong, AWL, American Wrestling League, they're doing like a 4-team tournament. Actually, I was going to think about stretching it out over 8 teams, but then I didn't. I was like, that's just going to take too long. So we did a 4-team. We're going to do a 4-team starting in January, with the champions being crowned in February. And those 4 teams, and I'll go ahead and announce them now, are going to be the other guys of Keith Mack and Stuart Snodgrass, the debuting Summit Club of Bruno Royce and Luca Daniels.
Yep, Summit Fight Club.
The Allen brothers, Steve and Robert, and then the Heart Killers, Valo and KJ.
Django.
That's a good
Django, yes.
Oh, Django. Wow. Now I recently saw the Summit Fight Club defeat the other guys, so I mean you're kind of getting into my territory with them guys. I know what they bring to the table. The Allen brothers got a hell of a pedigree.
Ooh.
They've been turning it up in the last 18 months since I first saw them. I first saw them about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, and the growth, I'll put it to you, I guess. I had to stop and make sure that I went and spoke to them after their match and after the evening was over, because I had to tell them, from where I first met you to where you are now, you're not even the same team. You're not even the same guys.
Yep.
Their development was that far.
Yeah.
Because they're pretty young in the tooth in the game, but they, like I said, that last 1.5 years has been something for them, and that you can't go wrong with the Heart Killers.
No.
Chris Valo and Tommy Django are undoubtedly one of the hardest tag teams to watch. And I don't mean hard to watch as in they're hard to enjoy watching. I mean, they're one of the hardest hitting teams out there that you're going to watch.
They're workhorses for sure.
100%.
You have such a great mix of different tag teams and in different styles. That's going to be a fun tourney to watch.
Man, Brian Scott has chimed in. He said the Allen brothers are the uncrowned tag team champions. I don't, Brian, the next chance I get to see you at a show, you and I'll have a conversation. We'll come up with a bet, because I'll bet against the Allen brothers. You can bet for them. I'll bet against them, but we'll come up with something to make it fun. I recently won cigars off of Eddie Kingston, for winning a world title. So I like to gamble. But let's see here. Let's go ahead and talk about some of the matches you've got coming up this weekend, because this is getting interesting. You've got Dante Khalifa and the Wonderful Woo versus Tommy Okami and Peterbilt.
Yes. Now, Woo has been in the mix for a while now for the Legacy title. And then Peterbilt and Dante have had 2 matches previously against each other. Dante debuted for us 2 shows back, and he's a guy that definitely you guys got to watch out for. He's got the goods. He's young, still green, of course, but he is going to go somewhere. And then of course Peterbilt he's just a great old school talent, period. And Tommy's an up and comer. He came out of the Firestar group, trained under LeBron Cozone. And he fits the model wrestler. He's got the look and he's got the desire to try to go somewhere.
Right. And coming out of Cozone's camp, that's saying something.
Yeah. You can't go wrong with anybody out of Firestar Pro Wrestling. I didn't wear my hoodie today because the weather here is weird. It's either hot than cold, but I got my Team Firestam, Team Red Hoodie Gang for the win. That's what I'm saying. My money's on Tommy Okami being the wild card in this matchup.
You know, I've been around Woo and I've been around Peterbilt, and I'm gonna have to go with the team of Woo and Khalifa, and I say that for this: if you watch the wonderful Woo, the way he carries himself inside and outside of a ring, consummate professional.
Yes.
And Khalifa coming out of Cozone's camp, I'm sorry. I just, as much as I respect Peterbilt and his training camp that he came out of Lodi's camp, I can't overlook the professionalism and the fire that comes out of the team of Woo and Khalifa. That's where I go on that. Now this one here's got a little bit of this one here's got a little bit of blood mixed into it. Nathan Cross versus the young legend himself, Luke Fury. Sporting that real nice shirt right there. He's got a real nice t-shirt on.
Both these guys debuted back, I want to say at my August show. I think Infinite Days of Summer. And Luke wrestled Myrick, and Nathan was actually in a three-way with Woo and Tommy. And I was really impressed with both of them. I've known Luke's dad, Nick, for ages and ages. We used to be in the same group with back in the APW days, mid 2000s, and so I know that Luke, if he's trained under Nick, he's trained very well. And then Nathan's he's got the look and he's got it too. Great talent, and this match could very well steal the show. That's how good I think that one could be. It's an Ascension qualifier match. The Ascension qualifier in December we're going to be doing is kind of like our Money in the Bank. So we plan on, we're in our ceiling's kind of low. So I'm debating on whether I'm going to attach the contract to a pole from one of the ring posts or hang it from the ceiling up in there. But the guy will have to ascend to the top rope and retrieve the contract, and then that'll be good for a title match if they're choosing at any time.
Okay. A lot of people
I've seen Nathan
chiming
Cross
in on this one. Check this out. We got a boatload of comments flooding in on this one here. Ashley chimed in. How you doing, Ash? Brian said Cross versus Fury will be exciting. Very young, talented guys. John E. Smith. Good God. Old Chuck Winchester himself. Cross versus Fury. This could be match of the night. Agreed. And yet again, Cross Fury would probably be match of the night. Both very talented men. This is, they took the words away from me. So, David, go ahead.
Yes, this has the makings to be a classic. This has the makings to be sleeper, stealer hit of the night. I've watched Nathan Cross. I've watched him as one half of the New Age Outlaws and now break onto his own and see that change, that evolution from being a tag to a single competitor. Dude. Bro, the kid can bring it. He has the stamina. He has the look. He has the attitude. My money's going to be on Nathan Cross.
Oh, Nathan Cross can go. The tag team he was in was the New Age Villains in AV.
Villains, sorry. So I said
Yeah.
I meant to say Villains. I said Outlaws for some.
Well, you said
New Age
Outlaws
Villains.
because,
Yeah, it's what happened.
it's a
New
very
Age
famous
Villains.
tag team.
Yeah. Shut up.
It's kind of like I wonder if there's
New
a
Age
team out there
Villains.
called the Road Animals because of they'd be like a double pop. I don't know. Anyway,
The Road Animals,
so
really?
yeah, hey, oh well, you knew what I was getting at. Everybody knew I was saying the Road Warriors, and
but you know what I meant. But yeah, watching him grow as a tag team and grow, branch onto his own and see that evolution. The kid is on a roll, and this could be the kind of match that kind of puts him out there in the spotlight as his own. This could be his litmus test, so to speak, to put himself in the singles game.
Right. The other trick is this: he's actually in a tag team as well with Christopher Prince under the tag team name Bad Magic. So the guy's multi-talented. There's no doubt about it. That's Nathan Cross for you. Very talented wrestler and a consummate professional wherever he goes. The young legend, Luke Fury. Yeah, he came out of that APW camp. I don't know where else he's trained. I know he's trained there. And as Tim mentioned, I know he got a lot from his dad, but I've also seen him everywhere else. I've seen him in North Carolina at least 3 different companies up there. I know he's been working in Tennessee. The kid is traveled and he's only 16.
Yep.
And I mean, he was riding, I guess he's ridden with me to a couple of shows because I'm not too god awful far from Boiling Springs. And, if I'm working North Carolina and he's working the same show, we're heading up together. But the kid is smart. The kid is smart. I've heard him break down stuff. I've watched him, and you can watch the gears turn in his head on how to formulate and how to, just quantify something appearing. If that makes sense, he can make it make sense in his head, and then he can do it in person. And that is a gift. And there's a lot of people out there that wish they had that boy's gift. And I hope for everything that he achieves what he wants in this business. I'm not going to pick a winner, though. I can't do that. Because do you know who's going to win? The crowd. The fans are going to win that one.
Of course you will.
Undoubtedly, the fans are going to win that one.
Oh, God. Such a...
What? I don't want to pick a winner. Travis chimed in, just wanted to pop in because he can't stay, but Pro Wrestling for Everyone, can't wait to be there for Saturday for your event. That is awesome.
Yeah, I reached out to Travis. It's probably been about a month ago, because he was looking for places to do the Pro Wrestling for Everyone. So I reached out to him, and I'm glad we're getting a team up with them, and hopefully it can be a springboard for bigger and better things, for us, but more so for him and what he's trying to do.
Yeah.
Because it is, pro wrestling is for everyone, and we I don't want to have anyone to feel like they have to stay at home because they might have a sensory need of some kind and can't come out and enjoy what we do, and not just Wrestling Evolution, just to any of the promotions around that have him on board.
Right. Yep. Like I say, he makes the roads too. He's a hell of a nice guy, and what he's trying to do is a really solid thing. And like my son has to leave if he's at a show. Most of the time he can't make it through it. He's got to go because it's too loud. His ears can't handle it. So, Travis being around, maybe that would help. I don't know. I would hope it would help at least. I've seen some of the kids using the headphones and the little fidget toys that he's got to help keep them occupied during the show. So I know it works out there for some of them, but let's hope it works for most of them.
I know we have one child that comes, and she usually wears like headphones, already, but then I don't know. I've had like some fans ask me, would you allow a service animal, etc., because maybe somebody's got anxiety, and then I think I told him, I said, well, I can't deny you that, but I still think it kind of try to keeps him away. They're worried about it, so hopefully this allows them to come and enjoy the great sport of professional wrestling.
Most definitely. Let's see here. Another Ascension qualifying match. Thomas Extreme versus Zay Vega.
I've known Thomas for several years, and I have told him to his face, he is one of the most underrated talents in the Carolinas. The first time I'll admit, the first time I ever saw him, was way back at another promotion, and I can admittedly there's two people I will tell you right now that I've dropped the ball on as far as like talent when I first looked at him, and I'm like, I wasn't that impressed. One is TJ Balls, and I've told TJ I made the mistake of but he went out on his own, and he became himself. He found himself as a performer in the ring and got better. And Thomas Extreme is the other one. Because usually I'm pretty good at scouting the majority of talent that I see and know what they can and can't do. And my first impressions of him were wrong, and I've watched him grow and expand. And Thomas can go. He can go. And then Zay Vega, I was impressed with him. I actually saw him at an XWW show, and I was impressed with him right off the bat.
Agreed. You've got the Cardio Maestro versus the Slim Reaper. It comes down to
talk about high octane. Yeah,
I'm going to say the more he's probably more a veteran than Zay would be Thomas. Traveled. They both travel a good bit. I don't know. I'm leaning towards Thomas on this one. I really am.
I'm going to go with Vega on this one. The
Are you?
unpredictability, okay. The speed, the tenacity. Yeah, I think Zay Vega. I mean, he's pushed a lot of people to their limit, and this is going to be a high octane, fast paced, guns to the wall, high flying action match, and my money's going to be on Zay Vega winning this one.
Gotcha. Like I say, I'm going to have to. I'm gonna have to stick with mine. And that's
Tim. What do you say? Who do you think is taking this one? Because we're getting Mr. Neutral over here.
Well, as the promoter, I mean, I don't want to sound impartial. So, but really, any given night, it could be either one. It's really a toss up because that is based off of what I have seen in the last few months between the two. It is they're evenly matched in my eyes. Vega, like I said, Vega can go, and Extreme, there's a reason why he's called Extreme. So I really, to be honest, it's like any given Sunday on that one.
Okay. I respect it. Don't respect Ron's, but I respect yours, Tim.
You don't respect me saying Thomas Extreme. Just because I didn't pick a winner for Cross and Fury, because I don't want to sound impartial because of my involvement with King Enterprises. You know.
Impartial.
This guy. You see what I got to work with, Tim? You see what I have to work with?
He seems to be a good guy.
He recognizes talent when he sees it. He says he's always scouting. I'm just saying, he said it, not me.
There's you got to learn the difference. There's the difference between a good guy, a nice guy, and a good man. Okay, that's how it is. So more comments coming in here. Ashley said that Luke Fury is going places. Luke Fury said, "What's up?" And spoiler alert, I'm winning on Saturday. Ashley says, as a ref, it is hard for the shows because of the flashing lights. That may be needing to take into consideration for those who have seizures. That's another possibility.
Good point.
Even Ashley said, "Get it, Luke." Oh, Brian Scott couldn't even pick a winner. Look at that. Brian Scott couldn't pick a winner.
See, it's a toss-up.
See? Yeah.
All right.
He said, "What's up to Luke Fury?" Zave is fun to work. Man, look, D'Angelo, I don't care what anybody says. The next time I see Caprice Coleman, he's going to have to give me a DNA test for D'Angelo because I swear to God, that boy is a spitting image of Caprice Coleman. If you ain't never, I didn't see it until D'Angelo said it to me. He said it to me, and I'm like, man, now that you said it, I can't unsee it. He's like, "Are you serious?" I'm like, "Yeah, man, I just can't. I can't. The smile and everything, it looks just like him, dude." Another hard match to call. Both are talented and fast.
True.
Real recognizes real. Yes,
real recognizes real.
In today's market, it's game recognizes game is the way that they say it now. That's the way the kids say it. I'm about 22.
You know what? And you're looking kind of unfamiliar right now, Ron.
What the hell does that mean?
I'm just
I'm too old for this shit. And then look, D'Angelo chiming in saying, "That's my pops, man." Dude. But on the real, until like yesterday, I really didn't know who not D'Angelo, who Caprice's brother was. And I was, oh my God, shocked when I found out who his real brother was. I about died. I ain't gonna say it on here, but just know that I know it. It's funny as hell. Look, people agree with me on D'Angelo and Caprice. See, I'm not the only one who sees that mess. Oh man. Now this one's going to be interesting. Buggy Wright versus Myrick Moore. The Irish hand grenade, and you damn right it's Buggy Wright.
These two actually wrestled previously in June at our debut show of Lethal Lottery. And I know Buggy is wanting to come back because Myrick cheated him. And that's when we crowned our first champion on the Lethal Lottery show. Those two got drawn, faced off. Myrick cheated to win. And Buggy's looking for some revenge this time around because it basically cost him the shot at the championship.
D'Angelo Coleman. I'm saving that for later. So
those two had met in the past, you said, and Myrick cheated to win. Boy, oh boy, what a surprise with Myrick. That dude is underhanded as they come. Buggy Wright has had a banner year. He has had a stellar year. And been one of the most impressive young talents you'll find out there. Yet again, he's another one on my very short list of top 5 under 25 is Buggy Wright. So the dude, I know he's outsized, I know he's out muscled, and he's under the gun on experience, but I'm gonna have to take Buggy Wright. I'm gonna take the underdog in this one. I got him settling the score with Myrick Moore.
I hate to say this, but I agree with you.
Oh, you hate agreeing with me. I know. You know, it's bad when I hate agreeing with myself.
And I think that might be a reward at the end of the year if we do that type of thing. I don't know. I'm thinking about it.
We're definitely gonna do an award show. We're definitely gonna do an award show.
I'm gonna go and just say that Buggy Wright is one of the most improved, the kid's on a hot streak. All right. And I think that should be a category, the Buggy Wright hot streak category, because I think Buggy Wright, he's been the underdog, but he somehow proves and time again, he's a tough little son of a bitch. He could take the pain and keep coming back for more. And I think that's gonna be one of those situations here. He's gonna take the pain, he's gonna come back, and he's gonna bring something out of nowhere to surprise us all.
I mean, I'm going with it.
Well, it doesn't matter where he goes, the kid is over. Insane over. Like the crowd at Wrestling Evolution, they got behind him instantly. And I've had several people ask since that first show, when's Buggy coming back?
The kid makes an impression quickly.
He does.
All right. Catch up on comments again. Let's see. I'm gonna come check y'all out when I'm available. D'Angelo said he wants to come check out the show when he can.
D'Angelo Coleman.
D'Angelo Coleman's gonna go check him out. Oh my God, I'm gonna introduce him that way because he works a lot of shows I work. I'm just gonna add Coleman to it at the end of it, just to mess with. I swear to God, that'll be funny.
The Lost Coleman kid. That should be a t-shirt.
Buggy Wright surprises me with everything he see every time he sees him.
True.
That's his pick. Mm-hmm. Jeremiah Skinner, Freight Train J himself chiming in. He said Buggy Wright all day. Underdog every day. There you go. And Buggy's on my list for 2024. So D'Angelo versus Buggy. Buggy Wright versus D'Angelo Coleman. Where can we get this done?
I like that. I like the sound of that.
That sounds good. That does sound really good. Man, look, that sounds good.
Hey, yo, Tim, write that down. Yeah, write that down, Tim.
I need to make that. I need to make a note of that to book that match.
Yes, Miss Kate, write that down too, just in case for future reference.
Man, another one I'm trying to sell everybody on this one. If you want to see something impressive, I'm thinking Saeed Al-Sabah versus Bebop. Put them two. Think about them two and what they bring to the table. And then put it in a ring and put it together.
Now, like that ring on fire. That's pretty much what you get.
Yeah. That one's had my juices flowing for about 6 weeks now. Look at this. D'Angelo said he is down, and Buggy Wright likes it a lot. Oh, Lord. Look at this. Making matches on this joint. Here we go. Let's see here. Lucky Ali versus the Don Furio. The magnificent Don Furio.
Bro. This one is hard. This one, both of these guys have the stamina. Both of them have the skills. Both of them have the pedigree, the fortitude. This could go either way. This is the 50-50 one for me. I can't. The fans went on this one, Ron. The fans went on this one.
All right. I'm going to say just a few short words about this. Your winner is Don Furio, and thank you, Lucky Ali. That's me. Thanks for coming out, Lucky, but you ain't lucky tonight because the Don's got your ass. That's where I'm at with this one. If you wanted me to tell you, that's where it is for me. I'm predicting Don Furio.
Well, Don has elevated himself since he debuted for us in July and wrestled Rayhan. And they had basically just a brawl. And that one ended in a both men counted out. And then Don has just, I don't know, the fans have just gotten really behind him. Slowly but surely each show. And he's another one that's a workhorse. Again, he has all the goods. He's got the look. He came from. He's trained under the Nightmare Factory. He's trained under Seth Rollins. He's trained or somebody else he had listed that he had trained under, but I can't. It's erasing. It's going out away from me right now. But he says he sends his stuff to Rhodes and Rollins often to get their feedback on how he does things. He's just anything that I ask of him, he's willing to do, and he wants that feedback and wants to know what he can do better. He has that drive, and that's things that I look for when I'm booking Wrestling Evolution is guys like that. You got some guys, of course, that are the older generation guys, kind of like me if I was still wrestling. But then I want these up and coming talent that when they come here, and it's not just for an exposure. Of course, they get paid, but I hope one day that if one of these guys makes it, or several of them make it, because a lot of the guys that we bring in, I think they have the ability to do so. But I would love for like they do these backstories of WWE guys or whoever, AEW, and it would be nice for them to say there was this group, Wrestling Evolution, based out of North Carolina, and they gave me that opportunity to show the world what I can do, and and kind of just get that rub, and I want to see these guys succeed, and I think Don, among many others that we've already talked about tonight, are the guys that are the next generation of stars.
I
agree.
agree.
I see that's what you're doing. You're booking top quality, high quality talent that in their own right should already be signed or on their way to be signed. And that goes to show that what you say, you have a keen eye for talent, you have a keen eye to finding that special gem in these talents, and you're making an incredible show.
That matchup is going to be insane.
And then I don't have to really. I mean, Lucky Ali, he's obviously. I mean, he's already. The word is he's signed. With the E, and going south to the Performance Center in January, and deservedly so, because the guy, again, he's one he gets it, he understands it, he's got it, and his pedigree speaks for himself already in the last couple of years. And I was just excited we could get him on and be one of his last. Now that he signed, one of his last independent dates before he takes off and goes for WWE.
Yep, he's heading to the Performance Center in January. It's Lucky Ali, and it is also Jay Malachi heading down there as well.
I was hoping I could get Malachi in at some point, and I just hadn't. The channels did not ever fall my way to be able to get in touch with him.
I've worked with both of them, and as far as I've worked on the same show as both of them. Let me put it that way. And both of them phenomenal young men, phenomenal talents. So that's definitely going to be a good matchup right there. Is Don Furio and Lucky. Let's see here. Thomas Scott chimed in. He said hello and that he will see you guys on Saturday. Okay. I don't believe I'll be in North Carolina on Saturday, but nonetheless, let's see. Brian chimed in to say Don Furio is my winner because Fat Frankie is my boy. I can't go against his fam. The Lucky match would be hard hitting. And Lucky's been working hard since he's been watching him back in 19 when he didn't take a merch table spot at a show and was selling shirts in the parking lot. Wow.
I don't think he does every time I've seen Lucky, he's pulling a laundry basket. Yes, a little laundry basket around and selling out of the bed. So
yeah.
Yep. I was trying to think. I was like, damn, is that him? Is that him? Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
I remember watching him go against Brino Royce like almost 2 years ago now or something. It's been at least a year, ain't it? Yeah, it's got to be. I don't know. I'm terrible with memory. But I saw him then.
I saw. Sorry, I keep cutting you off, Ron. Now you know how I feel half the time when. But no, I remember. I was because I did a show for Huckabee. He told me to come do announcing at a show in West Virginia when I got first sight of him, and I knew it then that this kid is going places. From that first match, I saw him.
Right. Like I say, I chose the Don on this one. Who you got, David? Are you sticking with the fans?
That's a hard one. But I'm going to go with Lucky Ali.
Okay.
I told you, it's hard, but just to be different, I'm going to go against you, go with Lucky Ali.
All right. Now we've got a tag team matchup here. We've got Whiskey Business versus Cam Jackson and Kay Omari. Wow.
Whiskey Business all the way. That's my pick. It's not because I'm the whiskey, but whiskey.
So here's the thing. Whiskey Business, another travel tag team, done a lot of work, been in the ring a lot together. They ain't been in the ring as long as Cam Jackson has. Now Kay Omari, Kay Omari's, young guy getting trained by Cam.
Whiskey Business has more experience. Whiskey Business has gone against Cam Jackson.
I'm actually going to use a piece of information from Tim to tell you how this will work. You'll love this. Hey, how loud or furious is that crowd in Denver?
Very.
They are very involved.
They're very involved. The crowd. There's very rarely a dull moment. They buy into everything from start to finish.
So your winners are Cam Jackson and Kay Omari. Bar none. That's how I tell that, because Cam and that crowd will have a connection like no other, and that crowd will not let Cam Jackson's shoulders stay on the ground for 3, nor will Cam Jackson allow Kay Omari's shoulders to stay on the ground for 3. So
I will agree with you on one thing, that Cam Jackson will have that crowd eating out of his hand, because that man is charismatic and crazy, and he'll have you announce him more than once just to make sure you get it right the first 3 times.
I've done it more than once. I think the record for Cam, the record for Cam is 7.
Oh my God.
That is, if I'm not mistaken, the record is 7 times. Do it again. 7 times. What's the record?
The promoter probably had a conniption.
I don't know. I know after a couple times, I sat down in the ring waiting on him to get in. I just went and sat in the corner with a microphone like, yep. Oh, man. Let's see. Brian Scott said Whiskey Business for the win. D'Angelo says Cam Jackson is underrated, big time bros, entertaining in and out of the ring. And I 100% agree with you there.
Agree. But that's not going to be enough to beat Whiskey Business.
Okay.
I love you, Cam.
It doesn't have to be. You're not getting this. Hulk Hogan, right? Hulk Hogan used to hulk up, and that crowd kept him alive. The Ultimate Warrior fed off of that crowd. Cam Jackson feeds off that crowd. And that's what's going to propel Cam and Kay to a W this Saturday night. My opinion.
$10 says this is going to be the longest match of the night. Including entrances.
Entrances and exits included.
Yeah, is it because of the entrance?
Oh, man. Mason Allen versus John Schuyler.
Mason is undefeated since his debut in Wrestling Evolution. He has not lost a match. And of course, then he asked us for some some competition. And I got in touch with John, and John's like, sure, let's see what the kids got. And I'm excited to have John. John's
I think he may have been
Mason. I like Mason. He's up and coming. He's a good kid as well. Young talent. I think he's going to be going some places. John, I have when I talk about when I've mentioned before about scouting talent. I ran back years ago, probably the end of 2000. Let's see, around 2009, I believe it was. I did the Wilcox Memorial Cup in memory of my mother who had died, and I was looking. So it was a one-night tournament, and I went to South Carolina down to when Doug Hawkins ran APW. And then it was American Pro Wrestling Chester before they became Action Packed Wrestling, and William took it over. But I saw John then, and my referee was along with me. That's one of my head referee now, Josh Cash, and I told him then, and John was really, really, really young, probably maybe a year in the business, and I told the referee Josh Cash then, I was like, this kid's going places.
Undoubtedly. I mean, I'm gonna put it to you this way. I've seen Mason Allen in the ring in the last year and a half or so. I've seen John Schuyler for the last couple of years, and somebody send a message to Robert and the other one because I never can remember his name. I remember Robert's name, but I can't remember. Steve, isn't it Steve? Yeah, Steve. Somebody send a message to them that they're going to have a RIP Mason sign needing to be made because Mason ain't going to make it out through that one. Undefeated so far, that's fine. Yeah, he's not winning this one legitimately, period. Go ahead, David.
Yeah. I just said it. I'll say it in Spanish and in English again. That streak, se acabó, is done. It's over. That's going to be a hard fight. I'm sorry. You're a tough kid, but that is a big, big boy. That is a big, beefy man. Yeah. He's gonna. It's not gonna be an easy fight. It's gonna be an easy. Well, it's not gonna be an easy struggle. From what I can tell. But I think he asked more than what he bargained for. Tim, you got a good opponent for him. I think you may have put a big, big speed bump in his tracks right now.
Yeah. If he wants that win streak to continue, he's definitely going to have to earn it Saturday night.
Like I say, I can't see there being any. There's no way he gets away with this one. I just can't see him getting away with it. That's all it boils down to with me. I can't see him getting away with it. I can't see him making it through John Schuyler legitimately. Meaning by legitimately. I don't see him rolling John Schuyler up. I don't see John Schuyler tapping out. I don't see him putting John Schuyler on his back for 3 with his hands or some drop kicks or something like that. I think I've spelled it out enough for everybody to understand. I'm hoping everybody got it.
It's gonna have to be dirty.
Yeah, thanks. There you go. Perfect. It's gonna have to be dirty. There's no way he can beat him legitimately. It's like it's gonna look like Mike Tyson fighting freaking Urkel. Like, give me a break. Let's see here. Look. Start a prayer chain for Mason. Start a prayer chain for Mason. They already praying for Mason. How many Allens are there? I don't know. Too many. Max Carter's chimed in. What's up, Max? There are more Allen brothers than there are Dudleys. Bubba Ray, Devon, and Spike. Robert, Steve, and Mason.
True.
Well, there's 3 and 3.
You had Big Dick Dudley.
Tim
Yeah,
Allen.
I forgot that one. I forgot about Big Dick Dudley. I forgot about the ECW stuff. I really did. A lot of that I forgot about. Let's see. I'm going to have to join so I can be D'Angelo Allen Coleman. Jesus. He'll get you an application and put in a good word. That's horrible. Yeah. Hey, Brian, I'll thank you to not do that for me. Max Carnage said, sign Guy Dudley.
Yes.
Lord. Was that like Lodi before Lodi? Because Lodi was sign Guy in Raven's Flock, or is that who he stole the gimmick from? Lodi. I guess that's where he got it from, was sign Guy Dudley in ECW. He probably didn't get it. It was probably somebody like Bischoff told him to do it anyway. Let's see here. And finally, the heavyweight title match. Christopher Prince, your incumbent champion. And hey, David, do your thing here. Read that.
El Guapo y Gordo Hernandez. Which in English
right, so
means
I call him.
Well, let's see. It depends on how you translate it. But the handsome Hernandez, actually, technically.
The handsome Hernandez. So I'm just gonna go with
handsome,
I'm just gonna go with
depends
Hernandez.
On your dialect. But yeah, pretty much. Layman's term. The big handsome Hernandez.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna stick with your reigning, defending, and still is gonna be Christopher Prince. Then I don't know anything about Hernandez. I've heard of this guy. I've never got to see him. Huh?
You never know. He could be under the mask. I mean, he could be anybody. But all I know is that he's handsome and he's big, and his last name Hernandez.
Well, I mean, that could be you, but because see, the goatee's covered up, so it could be you just without the lip ring. We don't know. But and that's why you're calling him big and handsome, because it's you under the mask. Got it. So I'm saying Christopher Prince.
As the CEO of Wrestling Evolution, I do not know a lot about El Guapo either. I just know he's an international star, and he was willing to come in and give Prince a battle or a challenge, excuse me, for the title, for the Wrestling Evolution title. So I'm intrigued as to see what exactly all he can do. I've seen very little footage.
I respect it
of the guy. So, but I saw enough to understand that he was worthy of coming in to have a title match.
David, are you gonna pick your hermano, or are you picking the, you sticking with Chris?
You know what? That's the wild card. He even seems to he hasn't watched enough tape, but he watched enough to know that he could be a challenge. If he was worthy enough to be a challenge to him, that says a lot, because not that many people have been up to being a challenge for this kid. He's been plowing through everything, showing he has the guts. Yeah, you know what? My money might be on El Guapo.
Man, look, Christopher Prince, dude, is another one of my top 5 under 25. When he told me his age, I looked at him. I was like, "Quit freaking lying to me!" And I was, packing up whatever I was packing up. And he goes, "Bro, I'm this old." But he's that good at that age. Like you said, the platform and people came through this territory. It's, dude. I can see Prince going places. I really can. Very talented young man.
That he is. I actually was right before COVID. I was training to possibly get back in the ring, and I went down to Lodi's and went for literally. I mean, I went down probably 3-4 times. I trained at Lodi's in Matthews, North Carolina, and Prince was there. And at that point, so we're talking 2020, right? Is that when COVID was, or 2021?
It was 2020.
And he was green as baby doo-doo then. And he
it's the same.
he wasn't quite there. But then I saw him, I think, into last year. Peterbilt had done a benefit show. I can't remember for what he was raising money for, but Prince was on it then. And so it had been like nearly 2 years since I had seen him. And afterwards, and he remembered who I was. And I walked up and I talked to him then. And I was like, dude, you have elevated your game and done a complete 180 from what I've seen you before. And he just keeps getting better and better and better.
Right. That benefit show was last holiday season. They were raising money for Christmas presents, something along those lines. I remember talking to Peterbilt about that show.
Yeah, you remember talking about that show here on the podcast, really?
I think he talked about. I think we had him on, and he talked about it. Dude, well, I don't even remember if you were here yet, David. Damn. I got a terrible memory, but I know Peterbilt talked about that show, and him and I talked about it on the phone. I remember that happening, but if you were there, that makes sense. Like I said, let's just say that the Prince rose from the ashes of a phoenix. Okay, that is the way it went down. Because the dude's been money everywhere I've seen him. So I'm going to stick with him. But overall, man, this is a fantastic card. Ladies and gentlemen out there, if you don't know where to go on Saturday, you need to find your way to the Crosscountry Campgrounds in Denver, North Carolina. Doors open at 6. Bell time's at 7 p.m. Front row is already sold out. Is that correct?
Yeah, I had 2 seats open up last night, and then actually Brian Scott's the one that grabbed the last 2. But there is the possibility, of some more opening up, because I have I recently made the purchase for an 18x18 ring, and that will be used this Saturday night. So we might be able to add a few more front rows, but until I actually do the final setup, I can't say yay or nay.
Oh, so you're going to an 18x18 now?
Correct.
Nice.
I purchased it yesterday and brought it home to the house, and it's show ready to go. So we'll be using it Saturday night, but I hadn't told really any of the guys or anybody. Well, there's only a few people I had mentioned it to, but
just told you.
But now the cat's out of the bag, kind of.
Well, surprise! You get to work at 18x18 now. Oh, that's a hell of a way to find
guys.
out.
Yeah, you got an extra step there.
Yeah, an extra step. It's a little heavier on the moving parts.
Oh my gosh, no joke.
That ring that you and I were at a couple weeks back.
Oh my gosh, that thing it was a 16, but man, for a low boy, that thing was just, Jesus Christ, that was a heavy ring.
It was atrocious. It was not even okay. I was so used to like Cole's ring and Manny's ring, the XWW ring, or the one that you've seen over there with Pro Wrestling Union. Oh my God. I was used to those. I didn't know what the hell I was dealing with this thing.
Well, when I I loaded this one up on the trailer yesterday. Well, was helping load it up on the trailer when I bought it. I think the wood weighed more than the side rails did. It was just like, oh, I do not miss these days at all.
Man, I watched a crew break down a 20x20, and they're a pretty efficient crew, but they're breaking down an old 20x20. I'm talking like this was either the Fabulous Mullahs or Mae Young's ring.
Oh, geez.
It was owned by one of them two women. It's down in Columbia, South Carolina, and I see them moving it, and they're just so smooth and efficient with it. You can tell they've done it 1,000 times, so they're just really effective with the ring. But I'm just looking at it like, yeah, I really don't want to move that. That's like a 20x20. No thanks. The bigger it is, the heavier it is.
Yes.
That's heavy.
Except they were using sheets. They weren't using longboard. They were using sheet boards, 4x8.
Yeah, now this one has like 2x10s, 18 feet long.
I agree with that.
You got a new ring. Now you need to get a cage.
Now, the only thing in that building, I don't think I can get it, with ceiling height being so low. A cage would do. I need to do a low boy, to do a cage match. But I'm in preliminary talks with some high schools about doing some shows with Wrestling Evolution, and hopefully those come to some kind of fruition in the next few months, and I can make more of an announcement on that. But then that could, obviously in a gymnasium, it would benefit having a cage for something like that. Then,
right? Well, sir, we have covered the entire
card. Are you
tonight.
sticking around the Denver area? Or
right now, yes. But I would like. I mean, I'm not because where the building we're located at is right along a major highway. We're in a great location. The only downfall of that building, again, is, and I can't say it enough, is the ceiling height. But other than that, if I've told a lot of people I would like to have something with a higher ceiling, other buildings, but if they can match the rate that I get on the building on top of the kind of the leniency that they've granted me with being able to do some of the stuff we've been able to do so far, I'm not interested in moving yet, but I would eventually, and this is way, 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 way down the road. Eventually would like to go some other towns or something. I would like to take it on the road, but that's way, way, way planning phases.
Right. Well, you've got a hell of a product because you've got a hell of a following, and this Saturday you've got one hell of a card coming up.
Any help looking? Yeah, you could get in game with all the hell of
Yep.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm always on the lookout, and I wouldn't mind. I don't know if, and somebody was mentioning this today to me, but I don't know if, let's say, the town of Lincolnton, we're in the Denver area, but the town of like Lincolnton, I don't know if they would support really kind of like how AP Action Pack does bi-weekly shows. I wouldn't mind having a building and having a ring set up, and then doing something maybe run there, possibly looking to purchasing another ring and maybe do a show in our actual building with a school or a training facility for guys to come in and then be able to work out in the ring whenever they wanted, and then maybe run in another building in another town somewhere else, and then do a show in that building, and then 2 weeks later do another show in another town or something. But it all takes building the product and getting our name out there, and that's all I'm trying to do. That's I rock this brand almost every day, everywhere I go.
Right. Well, I think you're on the right track.
I told one of the wrestlers the other day, I was like, I'm not doing this for fun. This is the business. This is my business. It's my brand. and that's exactly what I'm trying to build. And I've got goals in mind, but it takes time. It can't be like Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was Wrestling Evolution.
Yeah, and you are building a gladiator. I mean, sure. As I've said,
and I think you're on the right track. You got the talent.
Did he cut off?
It was in and out.
Oh, yeah, we didn't hear you, David.
So,
there he goes. No, he definitely cut out. But either way, like I was saying, I think you're on the right track. Definitely. You've had stellar turnouts since starting up. You're constantly booking some of the top tier talent in the region. And what, David?
I'll say I agree. You have the talent, you have the vision, you have a great crew behind you. This show's fantastic. You've proven that you could put an awesome card together, and this show is the start of something beautiful.
Most definitely.
I've got to give credit too, because I put the shows together. I go out there and I hang the posters. I do the signs. I try to get the sponsors, but the guys that do the back scene stuff, and my commentators, Oscar, Tim Dixon. Tim Dixon does all our video production. Oscar writes, he basically comes up with a lot of stuff for the YouTube show, all the filler segments and a lot of the commentary things he comes up with. He's got a great creative mind. Boomer's our backstage agent. Chuck Winchester, actually Ivan, he's going to be coming on being like a producer here for this show this week to kind of look like guys getting them where they need to be for interview segments, etc. Josh Cash does a lot of he's my head referee, but he's also one of my graphics guys that comes up with stuff. I mean, these guys work their butts off because they believe in not me, but what we're trying to build. They have jumped on board and they go in full force, and I can't thank them enough for doing stuff that they do. And on top of the talent that comes in and busts their butts every single show to put forth the best show that they possibly can.
Right. All right, sir. Well, is there anything else you would like to touch on before we get out of here?
I don't believe so. If anybody, if they're listening and they want that address, it's 6254 Highway 150 East in Denver, North Carolina. Again, the doors open at 6, bell time 7 p.m. We do take cards or cash, and we do have concessions.
Fantastic. All right, sir. Well, thank you very much for joining us. To the audience, thank you guys very much for tuning in. David, thank you for showing up, even though you came in and out. It's still helpful to have a co-host, even when they're not here full time. Lorenzo, I need you to call the internet provider and tell him to up everything because he's cheap. I just need you to tell him spend some more money. Just get his credit card number and I'll help you input it. I promise. But guys, we're getting out of here. Thank you very much for tuning in. We'll see you tomorrow night for the standard episode of The Wrestling Wire.
Thank you for having me.